Okay, don't be alarmed by the way everything is different in this reaction. I'm just trying something else out. Hello everybody, my name is DekuGames and welcome to SCP The Doctor, live action film. This is a short film that obviously has to do with the Plague Doctor, and I really like reacting to these SCP short films. You guys also really liked my reactions to the Anti-Memetic Division series, and I really liked watching them and talking about them. This was a short film that I saw on my recommended when I was just scrolling through and watching some other videos, and I was like, that'd make an excellent video to watch and talk about, because, as you know, I do reaction videos to talk, not just easy content and just sit here and go, oh, yeah! Alright, let's get into it. Extreme caution, potential biohazard present. Oh, that looks almost exactly like, containment breach.
SCP-049, enter your room.
049. I always get the,
I'm not gonna tell you again. Enter your room or you'll be forced in.
One really cool thing that I love is I love that, 049's official canon voice has now just become the Vulcan. Awesome. Awesome.
What's happening?
Can you state your name?
I'm Aaron Scott. Hey, wait.
Keep your hands under the table. Been some confusion around a Dr. Scott. Says here that he lost his ID badge?
No, I never got a badge.
You were never taken to have an ID badge made when you begin your work here?
I was, but I never received it.
You were found unconscious in an area you're not authorized to be. What do you remember about this morning?
I can't remember.
What do you remember?
I remember last night. I was with Dr. Williams. I appreciate all that you've done to help me adjust to this new job.
Tonight isn't just for you. The Foundation is important work, but a demanding profession. Good company helps.
I don't drink.
Company can do everything on its own. So finally signed and already traumatized. That was fast, especially from an object with a class designation safe. Let me guess. SCP-7122?
How did you know?
I've worked at the Foundation for a long time.
I was told I couldn't discuss this with anyone outside my team.
The burden of this job is holding on to information that the world isn't ready for. You can't do this without a confidant. Mine was my wife before she passed.
I'm sorry.
Tonight isn't just for you.
7122 is frighteningly unremarkable considering how dangerous it is. The SCP Foundation discovered it while investigating a rise in strange deaths in Stockholm. It looks like a camera and it functions like one for the most part. But if you photograph a subject and delete the photo, they die. Instantly.
Wow. That, that sounds like, the R.L. Stine book, Say Smile and Die, or Say Cheese and Die, which was always a really weird Goosebumps book when I was a kid, but one of my personal favorites.
All of this was uncovered before you started.
That's true.
So, what's bothering you? What breakthrough has the department made?
We began looking into the metadata of the pictures. We found that if you deleted the metadata without deleting the photo, the subject remained alive, but went into an unrecoverable catatonic state.
Huh.
In the next test, we took pictures of 2 different subjects. We had each memorize a unique poem. And then we swapped the metadata.
Please recite your poem.
I look into my glass and view my wasting skin and say, would God it came to pass.
Finish the poem.
He started screaming. He began to beat his head against the wall. By the time we got in there, he was already dead.
What about the other subject?
She had a heart attack. She also expired during the test.
I wonder what happens if you mess around with like,
Shrunk as
because in a lot of modern cameras, especially what looked to be a Canon for that 7122 is you can edit the photos in the camera by adjusting like ISO and exposure in the camera. So what I think would be really interesting is what if you like did that? Would it like change the way that they look? Or like would it make them blind? Like, or make them invisible? Like you change the contrast where like they're barely visible and like suddenly they're transparent.
the end of the poem. But whose poem was it?
It was hers.
Well, I call that a success.
He caved his own head in.
They are death row inmates. Are you feeling pity for murderers? My team lost an innocent woman the other day. I guess that's the risk of working with UPIT class objects.
Well, the thing with D class is that yes, a lot of them are death row inmates. A lot of them are death row inmates that are sentenced, well, obviously to death because of very horrendous things, and are just really far on the waiting list. And the Foundation kind of speeds up that process. But also, a lot of times D class are just dissidents in the Foundation that are lower to D class. Some D class are just random people that are picked up off the street. Well, it depends really on your lore and which world you go through. I'm pretty sure with Broken Masquerade, the D classes are much more like organized and like where they actually come from. And then there's also, if you want to look into the more like darker, earlier SCP stuff, it's just like directly said that a lot of D class are just straight up ordinary people that were just from prison that aren't supposed to be there. And also death row inmates, if you know anything about real life, a lot of them aren't supposed to be, they're not all of them, but there are a lot that are wrongfully on death row. So a lot of those wrongful deaths are in the SCP's hands and so on. But then again, that also comes down to the whole we suffer in the dark so that you can live in the light, that sort of thing. And it also adds a layer of moral grayness to the Foundation of their whole thing.
Containment is more challenging than safe class, more dangerous.
What happened?
SCP-049.
Good evening, Doctor.
Evening, 049. I wanted to ask you about this mission you've referenced.
To rid the world of the great dying.
You've also called it the pestilence.
It gets everyone. Eventually.
He stays contained willingly, provided we allow him to continue his work. His tests are an effort to perfect some cure. However, we've yet to identify exactly what this pestilence is. But if he thinks you have it, God help you.
We need to discuss some things, 049.
Are you feeling well, Doctor?
I was assigned to take over shortly after we lost Dr. Moore.
049. I'm not gonna tell you again. Enter your room or you'll be forced in.
He's hostile.
Okay, that's actually going to bring up a really good spot to pause and talk about the pestilence. The pestilence is really weird. There's a lot of interpretations of exactly what the pestilence is. And it's never been outright stated or like confirmed exactly what it is. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are a few stories out there that are like, oh, it's actually this. But in the general, like, loose canon of 049 exists, but nothing more is known about what the pestilence is, we don't know exactly what it is. Obviously, because canon is very flexible in the SCP universe. It basically, if you want it to be canon, it's been written down and accepted, you can say that it's canon. And well, technically, in the multiverse of the SCP Foundation and in the great beyond of the Palisade, it is. But my interpretation of the not the Palisade, that's just a big wall in the multiverse, of what the pestilence is I think there are some people that think it's morality, where a lot of times that, or like dissidents or whatever, that the people who disagree with the Plague Doctor end up being killed. And that's because they showed morality to wanting to, like, the greater good sort of thing. Like, they kind of don't agree with that. So they're killed because they're infected with humanity or whatever. And 049 is trying to figure out a way to prevent that. Then there is some other things with that talk about how the pestilence isn't real and that the 049 is just fucking crazy. Then there are other origins of where, like, where at one point the mask, like the mask of comedy and tragedy, was worn by 049 at one point in the far past, and he was the one that corrupted the mask into being what it is now. So there's that. And then, but my own interpretation of the pestilence is that he doesn't really know what it is, but he also kind of does. Like, at one point it was something that was in everything, but now it has been defined to such a broad extent to where anything could have it. And because I view it as, at one point, 049 was good. He was the guy that wanted to cure a great pestilence that was infecting all of humanity, or could infect all of humanity. And obviously, with a lot of things like sarcasm and anything to do with oh my gosh, the ancients, the Davites and everything like that, like, that could be 100% true, that it could just be something that is stewing in humanity that could come out at any second. And he was trying to cure that, but now it has been broadly defined as anything that could be defined as human, or could be defined as it, like, if you're like, oh, well, a virus is something that infects something, and it's like, oh, well, emotions infect, so maybe then if emotions are part of it, and so on and so forth, that it's just been so broadly defined that now he thinks that it's anything. If he thinks that it's the pestilence, it is the pestilence. And that's why he reanimates, and that he thinks that the corpses are free of the pestilences because they're free of anything. They're free of free will, they're free of emotion, they're free of anything that could be considered or could be contagions they're just puppets now, so they can't be vessels for contamination.
Do you know what SCP stands for?
Secure, contain, protect.
And what are we protecting?
The anomalous artifacts and entities.
We are protecting the innocent. You can mourn Dr. Moore, but don't mourn the personnel.
Okay, another stop. So yes, the SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, but SCP also stands for Standard Containment Procedure. And the way that I've actually always my little headcanon of it is that Secure, Contain, Protect is the tagline for SCP the Foundation, but the actual SCP in SCP Foundation stands for Secure. What was it? Okay, yeah, but it was something. I forget. It was something along those lines of like, it wasn't Secure, Contain, Protect. It was like Secure, Contain, Protection, Secure Containment Protection Foundation, or something like that. Where like it was the full title of that it really got to the like Secure, Contain, Protect. The Secure Containment Protection Foundation. Secure, Contain, Protect. Like that's the full title of the SCP Foundation, and it like covers both protection of the containment and protection of humanity and the innocent and everything like that.
If I had to sacrifice 100 murderers to save an innocent life, I would make that trade every day.
Yeah, that's kind of like the whole morality behind the SCP Foundation.
Tell me about the accident last year.
What?
Drunk driving, 1 dead, 3 injured.
No. I wasn't drinking.
There were empty bottles in the car.
I wasn't designated. How is this even relevant?
Because, Dr. Scott, I'm beginning to wonder how you got this job. You're young, barely qualified, somehow walking around without an ID badge, and now this?
I'm not saying another word until somebody here tells me what is going on. What?
Let me guess. SCP-7122?
How did you know?
What breakthrough has the department?
In the next test, we took pictures of 2 different subjects.
You were never taken to get an ID badge made when you begin your work here?
I was, but I never received it.
Dr. Scott.
But if he thinks you have it, God help you. I know what he wants. Wait!
You stay here.
So this isn't just about 049. This is also about the Doctor. These guys. That was a small thought that I had in the back of my head at the very beginning. I was like, what if this isn't just about SCP-049, but also other Doctors as well? Sandra Williams, March 2nd, 1977. Automobile accident. Victor Williams. Ooh. Wow. That was very cool. That was very cool. Leif Erikson. Leif Erikson! Leif Erikson Day! All of these guys. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Actually, right there at the very end, it was very, very cool to see how big SCP-049 was, because I always like to think that anomalies are fucking big, right? If they're a humanoid SCP, they're usually, like, abnormally tall. And that kind of, like, fits with a lot of, like, lore that you hear from a lot of other things, is that, 3D artists, there was 3D backgrounds? Oh. Or, like, CGI backgrounds? That's cool. But there is, like, I just imagine, like, SCP-049, like, I'm pretty sure it's described that he's actually, like, only, like, 6 foot or something like that. But if he's an anomaly, he's actually something like 7'2" or whatever, just, like, big and, like, oh. Wow. That was great. I really do enjoy that. I'm going to wait for this, Poppy Playtime! Poppy Playtime. Okay. Okay. Wow. I did really enjoy that. That was great. I like the cinematography there at the very end of the shot of like the beak coming in from the plague mask, and then like the hand on the door frame. Even though it's a little weird that that somebody would just grab the door frame instead of just walking in normally. But hey, it looks cool. That's all that matters. Yeah, that entire story was incredibly well told. That felt like an actual SCP tale that you would read on the wiki of like, 049, the doctor, but it's also about the doctor of this other stuff, and then tying another SCP into it, and then all this sorts of other stuff, and then like you can also like tell some background lore of like going on about like the drunk driving and about how the guy was like, I don't drink, and all sorts of other stuff. It's that's so cool. Props to one, the set here was great. The set design was also pretty good because in 049 cell, containment cell, you can see like all the like diagrams and shit on the poster, because we know that 049 jots down a lot of notes and like puts them all over his room. And then there was also the guns that were being used by MTF. MTF looked like standard SWAT. In my own interpretation of SCP, MTF looks different depending on what MTF. Not all of them are, look like SWAT. Not all of them look like, like military casual combat kits or whatever. Some of them are like pretty advanced, like almost futuristic, and with like weapons and so on. I'd imagine Task Force Omega 7, the one with Abel on the team, would be pretty advanced. And obviously with containing certain creatures, you would need some pretty heavy firepower. But yeah, wow. I did really enjoy this. It's also very simple too. Obviously, I talked a lot about outside things during this while pausing, but, brings up conversation. But as simple as it was very, very, very good. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to watch it for yourself. And if you'd like to spot certain things, or if you want to talk about SCP down in the comments, leave a comment down below. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon down below, as low as $2 a month. And if you want an even lower donation, or if you only want a one-time donation, I have a CashApp down below. Any amount will do, and if you can't do anything with that, since I know some people can't support monetarily, like, comment, and a subscription will do wonders to spread the word. Other than that, hit the bell if you want to be notified, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!